What if I told you that a simple half-dollar sitting in your pocket right now could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Most people ignore these coins, thinking they're just 50 cents, but collectors know a different story. Hidden among ordinary-looking half-dollars are rare dates, mint errors, and high-grade coins that have shocked the market with unbelievable prices. From historic designs to mysterious mint marks, these coins carry secrets that most people never notice. And the craziest part? Some of them are still out there, waiting to be found in everyday change. In today's video, we're counting down the top 4 half-dollars you should never ignore. Coins that could turn a simple discovery into a serious payday. Make sure you watch till the end, because number 1 might already be in your collection. So, let's get started. First up. It starts like any ordinary day. You reach into your pocket, your fingers brush against a coin, nothing special, or so you think. But what if I told you that one of the most overlooked coins in American history, the 1971 half-dollar with no mint mark, could secretly be worth far more than 50 cents? This isn't just a coin. This is a forgotten piece of history, a silent witness to a major turning point in U.S. coinage, and possibly your hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Back in 1971, something big happened. The United States Mint made a bold decision that changed coins forever. Silver, once the heart of American currency, was being removed. Rising silver prices forced the government to eliminate silver from circulating coins, and the Kennedy half dollar, once made of 90% silver in 1964 and 40% silver until 1970, was now struck in a copper-nickel clad composition. The year 1971 marked the beginning of this new era. And here's where it gets interesting. The 1971 half-dollar with no mint mark wasn't just any coin. It was minted in Philadelphia, at a time when mint marks weren't even placed on coins from that facility. That means millions were produced, but not all of them are the same. Hidden among these coins are rare variations, minting errors, and high-grade specimens that collectors are desperately hunting for today. Imagine holding a coin that looks completely normal, yet inside it carries a story of transition, of change, of rarity. Most people ignore it. Most people spend it. But collectors? They search for it, because they know something others don't. Condition is everything. A worn, circulated 1971 half-dollar might only be worth face value. But if you find one in pristine condition, uncirculated with sharp details and a brilliant luster, it could be worth significantly more. And then come the errors, the real treasures. Coins with double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated. Coins with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even wrong metal compositions. These are the mistakes that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. And believe it or not, some 1971 half-dollars with unique errors have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. Think about that for a second. A coin that people ignore every day could suddenly be worth a small fortune. Now, picture this: a collector sitting at a desk, carefully examining a pile of coins under a bright light. One by one, they check the date, the edges, the details. Then suddenly, they stop. Their heart races. They found it. A flawless 1971 half-dollar, no mint mark, with an unusual doubling on the lettering. This is the moment every coin hunter dreams of. And it could happen to anyone, even you. The design itself tells a story. On the obverse, you see the profile of President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of hope, leadership, and legacy. On the reverse, the majestic eagle, holding arrows and an olive branch, represents strength and peace. It's more than just metal. It's art, history, and emotion pressed into a single piece. But here's what most people don't realize. Coins like this are disappearing from circulation. People are saving them, collecting them, locking them away. Every year, fewer and fewer remain in the wild. That means the ones still out there, they're becoming harder to find and more valuable over time. So the next time you see a half-dollar, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's just 50 cents. Look closer. Check the date. Examine the details. Because hidden in plain sight could be a 1971 half-dollar with no mint mark, a coin that carries history, mystery, and maybe even serious value. And here's the truth that most people never hear. Treasure isn't always buried deep underground or locked inside a vault. Sometimes it's right there in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it, waiting for you to realize that something so ordinary could actually be extraordinary. So before you spend your next coin, take a second look, because that simple act could change everything. It starts with a coin that most people don't even bother to look at twice, the 1979 half dollar with no mint mark. You might have seen it, maybe even held one in your hand and thought nothing of it. Just 50 cents, just another ordinary piece of change. But what if that simple coin carries a story, a hidden potential, and a value that goes far beyond what meets the eye? Because the truth is, coins like the 1979 Kennedy half dollar are often underestimated, overlooked, and quietly passed from one hand to another without anyone realizing what they might actually be worth. And that's exactly why collectors pay attention, because they know that sometimes the most common-looking coins hide the most uncommon opportunities. The year 1979 sits in an interesting place in U.S. coin history. By this time, the transition away from silver had long been completed, and half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday transactions. In fact, by the late 1970s, half dollars had already started to disappear from regular circulation. People weren't spending them as much, banks weren't distributing them as frequently, and yet the U.S. Mint continued producing them, especially at Philadelphia, which is why many 1979 half dollars come with no mint mark at all. That no mint mark detail might seem insignificant, but it actually tells you exactly where the coin was made and connects it to a specific era of minting practices. Now here's where things begin to get interesting, because while millions of these coins were produced, not all of them survived in the same condition. Most were handled, scratched, worn down, and eventually forgotten. But a small number escaped that fate. A small number remained in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that still shine with their original mint luster. Coins that look almost as perfect as the day they were struck. And in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. The difference between a worn coin and a flawless one can mean the difference between 50 cents and hundreds of dollars. Think about that for a moment. The same coin, the same year, the same design, but its condition alone can transform its value completely. And then there are the errors, the rare, unexpected imperfections that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. During the minting process, mistakes can happen. Subtle doubling in the lettering, slight misalignments, off-center strikes, or even planchet errors. These are not just flaws, they're treasures in disguise. Because collectors are constantly searching for these unique variations, willing to pay significant amounts to own something truly different. A 1979 half dollar with a noticeable mint error, especially in high grade, can command impressive prices in auctions and private sales. And yet, many of these coins are still out there, hidden in plain sight, sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections, waiting to be discovered. The design of the coin itself carries a powerful legacy. On the obverse, you see the unmistakable profile of President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of hope, leadership, and a moment in history that left a lasting impact on the nation. His portrait, sharp and dignified, reminds us of a time of change and ambition. On the reverse, the eagle stands strong, holding arrows and an olive branch, symbols of strength and peace combined. It's a design that has remained iconic for decades, instantly recognizable, yet often underappreciated. But here's the reality that most people never consider. Coins like the 1979 half dollar are becoming harder to find in top condition as time passes. Every year, more of them are damaged, lost, or permanently taken out of circulation by collectors who recognize their potential. That means the remaining high-quality examples are slowly becoming more scarce, and with scarcity comes value. Now, imagine this. You're going through an old box of coins, maybe something passed down from a family member, maybe something you've had for years but never really examined closely. You pick up a half dollar, glance at the date, 1979, and notice there's no mint mark. At first, it seems ordinary, but then you look closer. The details are sharp. The surface shines, There are no visible signs of wear. And suddenly, that ordinary coin doesn't feel so ordinary anymore. That's the moment everything changes. That's the moment when curiosity turns into excitement, when a simple object becomes a potential discovery. Because the truth is, valuable coins are not always rare in the way people imagine. They don't always come from ancient times or limited productions. Sometimes they come from everyday years, everyday mints, and everyday designs, but with just the right combination of condition, rarity, and uniqueness to make them stand out. The 1979 half dollar with no mint mark is a perfect example of this hidden potential. It represents a time when half dollars were fading from daily use, when coins were quietly transitioning into collectibles rather than currency. And that transition is exactly what makes them so interesting today. So the next time you come across a half dollar, don't dismiss it. Don't assume it's just another coin with no real value. Take a closer look. Check the date. Examine the surface. Look for anything unusual, because hidden within that small piece of metal could be something far more valuable than you ever expected. And in a world where people are constantly searching for the next big opportunity, sometimes the answer isn't far away. Sometimes it's already in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it. Next up, it begins with a coin that almost everyone has seen, yet almost no one truly understands. The 1776 to 1976 half dollar with no mint mark looks ordinary at first glance. Just another piece of pocket change, often ignored, often forgotten. But hidden within this single coin is a powerful story of celebration, history, and surprising value that most people completely overlook. This is not just any half dollar. This is the United States Bicentennial Half Dollar, created to honor 200 years of American independence, a moment that changed the course of history forever. When you hold this coin, you're not just holding metal. You're holding a tribute to the spirit of 1776, the year the Declaration of Independence was signed, and 1976, the year the nation paused to celebrate its 200th anniversary. But here's where things get truly fascinating. Unlike regular coins, this half dollar carries two dates, 1776 and 1976, marking it as part of a special, limited-time design that replaced the standard Kennedy half dollar reverse for a brief period. And while millions were minted, not all are created equal. And that's exactly where the hidden treasure begins. The version with no mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, and at that time, Philadelphia coins often didn't carry a mint mark, making them seem even more common. But don't let that fool you. Among these coins are rare, high-grade specimens and mint errors that collectors are constantly searching for. Imagine this: somewhere out there, someone unknowingly spins one of these coins on a cup of coffee, never realizing it could be worth far more than 50 cents. Because while circulated examples may seem ordinary, uncirculated versions, those with sharp details, brilliant shine, and no signs of wear, can command significantly higher prices, especially when graded at the highest levels. And then come the errors, the real secrets that turn this coin into something extraordinary. Double die errors where the inscriptions appear slightly duplicated, off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, and even rare cases of coins struck on the wrong planchet. These are the kinds of mistakes that collectors dream about, the kinds of finds that can transform a simple coin into a valuable asset overnight. There have been examples of bicentennial half dollars selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. Let that sink in. A coin you might pass by without a second thought could actually hold serious value. The design itself tells a powerful story. On the front, you see the familiar profile of President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of leadership and legacy. But flip it over, and everything changes. Instead of the usual eagle, you will find Independence Hall, the iconic building where the Declaration of Independence was debated and adopted, standing proudly as a reminder of freedom and history. Surrounding it are the inscriptions that tie past and present together, creating a coin that is not just currency, but a celebration frozen in time. And here's something most people don't realize, because these coins were saved by many as souvenirs. Finding one in perfect, untouched condition today is harder than you might think. Over the years, many have been scratched, worn, or lost, reducing the number of high-quality examples still available. That scarcity is what drives collectors, what fuels the hunt, what turns an ordinary search into an exciting treasure quest. Picture a collector late at night, carefully examining coins under a magnifying glass, searching for that one detail that stands out, that one sign of rarity, that one coin that changes everything. And that coin could be sitting in your home right now, hidden in a drawer, tucked inside a jar, or mixed in with loose change. The truth is, treasures like this don't always announce themselves. They don't shine differently or feel heavier. They blend in, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. So the next time you come across a 1776 to 1976 half dollar with no mint mark, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. Check its condition. Look for unusual details. Because within that coin lies more than just history. It holds possibility. The possibility that something so simple, so common, could actually be something rare, something valuable, something worth far more than you ever imagined. And in a world where people are constantly searching for hidden wealth, sometimes the greatest discoveries aren't found in distant places. They're found in the smallest, most unexpected objects, like a single coin, quietly waiting to be noticed. It begins with a coin that most people would never think twice about, the 1984 Kennedy Half Dollar with a D mint mark. At first glance, it feels ordinary, just 50 cents, just another coin that quietly passes from hand to hand without a second thought. But what if that exact coin, the one so many people ignore, carries a hidden story, a hidden value, and a hidden opportunity that only a few truly understand? Because the truth is, coins like the 1984 D half dollar are often overlooked not because they lack importance, but because their true significance is hidden beneath the surface, waiting for someone curious enough to take a closer look. And that's exactly where the journey begins, with a simple question. Could this coin be worth more than you think? The year 1984 sits in a fascinating period of American coinage history. By this time, half dollars were no longer commonly used in everyday transactions. In fact, they had already started to fade from circulation years earlier, becoming more of a collector's item than a practical form of currency. Yet the United States Mint continued to produce them, including at the Denver Mint, which is why you'll find that small but important D mint mark on coin struck there. That tiny letter is more than just a detail. It's a clue, a marker of origin, a piece of the coin's identity that connects it to a specific place and moment in time. Millions of these coins were minted, which is exactly why most people assume they're not valuable. But here's where things take a surprising turn, because not all 1984 D half dollars are the same. Most were circulated, used, scratched, and worn down over the years. But a small number were preserved, kept in near-perfect condition, protected from damage, and untouched by time. These are the coins that collectors are searching for today. These are the coins that can transform from simple pocket change into something far more valuable. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A heavily worn coin might only be worth its face value, but a coin in uncirculated condition, one that still has its original mint luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces, can command a much higher price. And when you start looking at coins graded at the highest levels, the value can rise dramatically. But the real excitement doesn't stop there, because within the world of 1984 D half dollars, there are hidden gems, mint errors that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary discoveries. During the minting process, small mistakes can occur, and those mistakes are exactly what collectors dream of finding. Imagine a coin with a double die, where the letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated, creating a subtle but valuable variation. Or a coin struck off-center, where the design is not perfectly aligned, making it instantly unique. There are even cases of planchet errors, where the metal itself was flawed before the coin was struck. These are not just imperfections. They are rare moments captured in metal, each one telling a story of how something unexpected turned into something valuable. And here's the part that truly captures the imagination. Some of these error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity and condition. Think about that for a second. A coin that looks almost identical to countless others could secretly be worth a small fortune, simply because of a tiny detail that most people would never notice. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. The idea that treasure could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye to discover it. The design of the 1984 D half dollar adds another layer to its appeal. On the front, you see the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, a figure whose legacy continues to inspire generations. His profile, strong and dignified, represents a moment in history that still resonates today. On the back, the eagle stands proud, holding arrows and an olive branch, symbols of strength and peace. It's a design that has remained largely unchanged for decades, a timeless representation of American values and identity. But beyond its design and history, what truly makes this coin special is its potential. Because as time passes, fewer and fewer high-quality examples remain. Coins get lost, damaged, or permanently removed from circulation by collectors who recognize their value. This gradual disappearance creates scarcity, and scarcity is one of the key factors that drives value in the world of collectibles. Now, imagine this. You're going through a collection of old coins, maybe something you've had for years, maybe something passed down from a relative. You come across a half dollar and notice the date, 1984, and the small D mint mark. At first, it seems ordinary, but then you look closer. The coin shines. The details are crisp. There are no visible signs of wear. And suddenly, that ordinary coin feels different. It feels important. That's the moment when everything changes, the moment when curiosity turns into excitement, when a simple coin becomes a potential discovery. Because the truth is, valuable coins are not always obvious. They don't always stand out at first glance. Sometimes, they hide behind an appearance of normalcy, blending in with everyday objects until someone takes the time to truly see them. The 1984 D half dollar is one of those coins, a piece of history, a potential treasure, and a reminder that value is often found where we least expect it. So the next time you come across a half dollar, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's just 50 cents. Take a closer look. Examine every detail, because hidden within that small piece of metal could be something extraordinary, something valuable, something that turns an ordinary moment into an unforgettable discovery.